As you already know, the Indiana Fever took care of the Dallas Wings on Sunday, 102-83 in a blowout Fever win in which Caitlin Clark dominated the game, pushed tempo, dominated pace, and pretty much dictated how the game was going to go. She accounted for 41 points, 40% of the team's offense in 25 minutes of play, and was an absolute force. And prior to the game, you had some questions that came to Stephanie White, the Fever coach, about who they were playing. And when the question about Paige Bueckers was brought to Stephanie White, well, needless to say, Stephanie White gave glowing reviews on Paige Bueckers. And then after the game, she was asked about Paige Bueckers again. And once again, she gave glowing reviews on Paige Bueckers. Kind of interesting when you have the elite of the elite at point guard on your team, and yet you can glow so much about the other team's point guard, and yet somehow seem to shade yours almost every time you're asked a question about her. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Some might say this is nitpicking, but when it comes to Stephanie White, you have to pay attention to the mannerisms and to every word she says, because when she says certain things, you can see what she's alluding to. You can feel what she's alluding to. Like I said in my other video, she never smiles when she speaks about Caitlin Clark. She makes comments about defense, about how she always needs to do XYZ, has to want to do it all the time, XYZ, whatever it is. And yet, when she's talking about Paige Bueckers, man, it was like, holy crap, talking about your own kid. It was weird, like talking about your own kid. And I'm going to play this for you so you can hear what she had to say. So here is what Stephanie White had to say about Paige Bueckers going into the game. Take a listen. See how happy she is to talk about her.
What are you seeing just in the way Paige approaches the game and also the attention that comes around her being sort of similar to Caitlin, just in so much spotlight and handling it, obviously, with a lot of success early on?
She doesn't press. She lets the game come to her. Things seem so easy for her when she's out there. She plays with great pace. Her decision making is really good. She's poised. She doesn't get too high, too low. I mean, she stays very much in that neutral mindset. And her and Caitlin both, the way that they handle everything that comes off the floor, they handle it with such grace and maturity for young people. And I think you see that same kind of level mentality on the floor for her.
So that's what she had to say about Paige Bueckers right there. She then included Caitlin into it. There's no comparison as to the pressure that Caitlin Clark faces to what Paige Bueckers faces. There's like not even a comparison. She's also said, "Oh, who did I just sound like?" She also said, and I'm not even gonna look for it because I already know what she said. She also said that Caitlin has to be more patient. So there she says Caitlin XYZ, but she's also said that Caitlin Clark has to be more patient, give herself more grace, blase, blase, blase. So she does that critical component to Caitlin Clark. Now, after the game, she had some other things to say about Paige Bueckers, and we'll play them for you right here. Now, here's the post-game interview after the game that Indiana dominated, and you have, I think, the same reporter asking this question. I don't know if this guy is with Indiana or if this guy is a Dallas reporter asking about Paige Bueckers for purposes of a Dallas article. But when you listen to the commentary from her over Paige Bueckers again, it just sounds so praiseworthy. That's just my thoughts. Y'all listen to it. What do y'all think?
Season and how efficient she's been.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a rookie in this league. Can you explain just what we are seeing and maybe how much we should appreciate that level of greatness that early on?
Yeah, I mean, she always stays neutral. She doesn't get rushed. Her pace, her poise, her decision making. She just is a very neutral mindset. And when you play somebody who is really high IQ, who is elite in all areas, and you try to make them uncomfortable, but they kind of just maintain that flow. It makes it tough. I mean, that's the difference in good players and great players, right? And she's only, I don't know how many games in, right? So it's just it's fun to watch, not as an opponent on the other sideline, but for a lot of young players that come into this league, there's a learning curve, and how quickly they figure it out is always interesting to see. And for Paige, she's figuring it out.
There was a stretch.
Sorry about that, folks. Now I want to give you another comment, another quote. This is from the same press conference, though. This is about Caitlin Clark, though. So I want you to compare what was said about the opponent to what was said about her own player. Again, I might be nitpicking here, but I'm listening, and you should be listening too. So take a listen to what she said about Caitlin Clark. Listen to this. This is the same press conference a little bit earlier in the press conference. This is post Dallas Wings, and I want you to hear what she had to say. And you compare the two things.
That's our journey.
How do you think Caitlin set the tone defensively? I know we talked so much about her offense, but you had to steal there early in the game on Paige for a layup, and I think it ended up with 5 tying her career high.
Yeah, and she had, I think, 7 deflections. You can tell she's starting to feel a little bit better, more explosive. Her anticipation's really good. She read the plays, she read the rotations, did a really good job of getting a hand in the passing lane, staying disciplined to tip it so that she could go steal it. And that's what it's going to take from her, consistently. She's got to be able to bring the offense and the defense, on the other end of the floor. And she's continued to grow in that area throughout the course of the season. And for us to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish, she's got to take more pride in that. And I think she's done that.
Interesting. She says it's like she has to take more pride in that. She has to do that consistently. She has to bring it on offense and defense and offense. Yeah. This is how she speaks about her player in comparison to how she speaks about the opponent's player. I'm not sitting here saying she has to glaze Caitlin Clark every single day. I'm not saying that she can't constructively criticize her star point guard, but we already know that Carolyn Peck ran with the information she ran with more than likely because it was provided to her by Stephanie White. We can all presume that, right? It seems pretty logical that Carolyn Peck's former player is the one feeding information to Carolyn Peck and letting her know that, man, we look better when Caitlin Clark's not playing. And so Carolyn Peck runs with that type of nonsense and says they look better without Caitlin Clark. What'd you think the last 2 games? And they won by 2 blowouts. A win by 17 and a win by 19. Did they look better without Caitlin Clark? No, the hell they did not. So you be the judge. What do you think of that? I want to also bring something up that she mentioned right here because it just doesn't fit. It doesn't sound right because when you look at last season, remember, she's gotten better or something. I'm gonna tell you right now, Caitlin Clark has always been good off the ball defensively. I've said it time and time again. She's always been good off the ball defensively. Her problems will always be on the ball defense. She's acknowledged it. She's acknowledged that she has to do it every game. She said it. She's been very clear about it. It's not a secret. I don't think anyone's shocked by that thought. But I'll give you this right here. Last season, Caitlin Clark was 15th in the WNBA in steals. She was tops among all rookies in steals. She was number 1 in rookies in steals. She was in block shots. She was the number 1 guard for rookies in block shots. She was she was third amongst guards in the league for block shots last year. So she's always been good off the ball on defense. She's always been a good help defender. It's interesting how she points these things out. And I'm not saying she has to glaze her all the time. I'm not saying she can't criticize her publicly. She should. You keep your player on your toes. I'm not going to disagree with that. But when you're glazing the opponent that you're playing, that you're playing, in fact. And in the same speech, you're saying your player is X, Y. You're not as praiseworthy of your own star. I don't know. It can rub you the wrong way. What are y'all thoughts on this? Love to hear what you have to say. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Come on now.